The orange fuckweasel is still the orange fuckweasel, but there's nothing new. There's nothing new to say about the outgoing squatter, but there's still lots to learn about his enablers. So many people, from the Republican functionaries to faux news host, helping him to undermine democracy by denying the election and attacking reality. But so many people are complicit. People like Maria Bartiromo, who's a 45 nutlooker, formerly an acclaimed journalist, not anymore, known around the world for making CEOs tell the truth, should now tease up to Pumpkin Tits to recite lie after lie. Her Sunday morning call with Pumpkin Tits on Faux News was his first interview since he lost the election, but it wasn't a real interview at all. He wasn't ready to acknowledge that he lost, and neither was she. He displayed delusional weakness, and she was complicit, and she's far from the only one. This is what Ron Brownstein on CNN Sunday night. Um, as Pumpkin Tits conspiracy theory about the rigged election gets more and more fantastical and far-reaching, implicating the DOJ, the FBI, and Republican governors, the silence of Republicans in Congress, Moscow Mitch in particular, and Kevin McCarthy in particular, are also following this position to spread in the American political system. It looks more and more like a modern analog to the silence of Republican congressional leaders during the rampages of Joe McCarthy back in the early 1950s. Brownstein added, I think history will have no trouble finding a parallel between Moscow Mitch's efforts to kind of look the other way and what so many Republican leaders did until Joseph Welch said, at long last, sir, have you no decency? Pumpkin Tits, he knows he lost the election nearly 4 weeks ago, yet he refuses to admit it. Judging by his tweets, he's spiraling even deeper into his denial. The Bartiromo interview was a sign that he's prepared to do battle in public, a disturbing display of weakness that some people interpret as strength. His Thanksgiving evening questions and answers with reporters was another sign of the same thing. After holding a call with members of the military, he fielded questions for the first time in 3 weeks, though he mostly just deflected and distorted the truth. And when he walked out, one reporter asked, Is this the language of a dictator?" And another said, "Mr. Squatter, some people say you're denying reality," which is exactly what he's doing. On Sunday's reliable sources, author and Brookings Institution senior fellow Jonathan Rauch placed Pumpkin Tits Secret's recent statements in the context of information warfare. Um, the orange fuckweasel is running a classic Russian-style disinformation campaign known as the Firehouse of Falsehood, he said. In this propaganda model, you push out as many different stories and conspiracy theories and lies and half-truths as you possibly can in order to flood the zone with disinformation. Rauch said, the goal here is to confuse people, and he's doing very well at that, and this is a classic propaganda tactic that he's very good at. Rauch pointed out that the falsehoods don't have to be consistent or logical. It's about throwing spaghetti against a wall, he said. It's anything and everything. It can be wild and it can be random, but it's to create confusion and epistemic chaos, and that's what we are seeing right now. And that's very hard for democracies to deal with anyway, he added. Traditionally, we dealt with it by not doing it. It was unthinkable before Pumpkin Tits for anyone to run this kind of disinformation campaign from the White House against the American public. Once it happens, I think the best defense to start with is for people, at least a lot of people, to understand what's going on and to realize what's happening here. Craig Mazin, the creator of the HBO's Chernobyl, had reacted to Rauch's remarks by reprising one of the most memorable lines from the series. The real danger is that if we hear enough lies, then we no longer recognize the truth at all. Pumpkin Titsism is a big part of Faux News' business model. The men who control Faux, which are Rupert and Lachlan Murdoch, were evidently pleased enough by Bartiromo's propaganda, proud enough of her Pumpkin Tits sycophancy, and that they rebroadcasted her 10 a.m. Eastern time, an hour at and then an Eastern time hour at 3 p.m. on Sunday. Right afterward, at 4 p.m., news anchor Eric Shawn matter-of-factly dismantled what Pumpkin Tits and Bartiromo had just built. No wonder why Pumpkin Tits keeps attacking Faux News weekend news anchors. And Shawn said that Pumpkin Tits doubled down on his claims of widespread voter fraud in the 2020 election, even though local and national election officials, as well as federal and state courts in multiple states, and in some cases that Pumpkin Tits campaign's own lawyers have said that there was no evidence to prove this. And he added, experts say that such claims are simply unsupported falsehoods, but they're not backed up by any facts at all. And that's clear, convincing language from Shawn. So then, why did Phil broadcast all of Pumpkin Tits' claims without any real-time follow-ups? A Faux News spokesperson did not respond to any inquiries. During the Sunday morning phone interview with Umberto Romo, Pumpkin Tits praised the dumbass Mark Levin's show the night before. Even though Saturday's airing was just a repeat of a 6-day episode of Levin's show, he also said that the insanity he knows gets it. Yeah, we get that he's fucked up in the head. The only thing that basically Insanity believes is that Pumpkin Tits won the election, which he didn't. On Sunday night, Insanity posted a tweet that said the media helped drive Pumpkin Tits from office, which was notable primarily for his admission that that squattancy is over, and to understand some of the rage and election denialism on the far Republican side. Take a look at the replies to Hannity's tweet, or Insanity, if we want to call him that. I don't usually follow his tweets because the guy's just a fucking moron. A few days ago, people had quoted a longtime on-air staffer at Faux saying that our audience has absolutely been radicalized, and that's what a lot of this is about. The audience. Beto Romo's Sunday morning show has a much bigger audience than the Faux newscast later in the day. And that's really about it there. And yeah, so that's about it there. So if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, Random Mike, and also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out, and thanks for listening.